Hey guys, welcome back to more r/AmiTheDevil stories. In this video, OP left her dying husband in the hospital and then started a new life. However, things are much worse than they seem at first. Let's dive right into the video. So the first one starts like this. I am 42 and I was married to my husband for 20 years. I loved him no matter what, even when we found out the hard way that we wouldn't be able to have any children due to problems on his end of things. It turned out that was just an early sign of something more that he never decided to investigate. Over a year ago, he was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer that had metastasized to the liver. For those who don't speak medical, it is not good. I've spent the last year constantly taking care of him and trying everything I could do to help. Not just driving to appointments, but staying up at night and learning how to give medicine. He didn't have anybody else to take care of him, so everything was on me. I was not sleeping and I lost weight, but I did it because I loved him and wanted to help. I could not cure cancer, but I could do those things. I even quit my job so I could stay with him full-time, taking a worse-paying job that I could do part-time from home. I thought that we were in this together, just the two of us. Well, that changed a couple of months ago. He had been able to work his phone and keep his privacy, but he ended up in the hospital and the prognosis was not well. He had an infection, was dehydrated, and they were saying the chemo was not really working. His phone went off and he was resting. I just wanted to turn off the ringer so it wouldn't bother him and he could rest. The message that popped up was just something I could not ignore though. It said, "I wish you were here in my bed instead of stuck in that hospital." I froze. And then I did something I knew was wrong. I opened his phone using his code and started to look through his messages. The text log with this person went back months. I saw some very dirty talk and even him complaining about me, talking about how she was upset that he couldn't sneak out anymore and come to see her, photos that were also very dirty of her. I did not know what to do, so I just waited for him to wake up and asked him about it, and he admitted to me that he had been with her for 6 years. Business trips were faked and instead he had been on romantic trips with her. Then he told me that I could not be angry with him because he was sick. Telling me that I could not abandon him because the doctors said he didn't have long anymore and I was his wife. He was acting like I had an obligation. I went to the bathroom, but I still had his phone. I messaged the woman to please come visit at the hospital. When asked about the wife, aka me, I said that it wasn't gonna be a problem anymore. Originally, I wanted to wait until his mistress showed up to tell her off and yell at both of them, but I couldn't bring myself to do that though. I still loved him, or felt bad for him I guess, but instead I just left and when she arrived he could explain it to her. I was going home to sleep in my own bed for the first time in days. To take a shower that lasted more than 5 minutes, I called a divorce lawyer the next day to get advice about how to move forward with this. And yes, he was in the hospital and yes, he was dying, but cheating on me for 6 years was just something I could not forgive. And I was not gonna stay with him. I learned more about how deep the affair the two of them had went, how much money he spent on gifts for her. How for Valentine's Day he would get her beautiful and expensive jewelry when I was lucky to just get a card. It was clear he cared more about her than he did for me for several years, and if anybody should have been sitting and taking care of him, it should be her, not me. He lived a second life, so how could I even know who he was anymore? What other things he might have lied about? I mainly wanted to find out if legally I had any obligation to keep taking care of him. Or if I was not allowed to divorce him because he was sick and in the hospital. I was free to do what I wanted, so I packed up my things, filed for divorce and made sure contact was only through my attorney. I never wanted to see or speak to him directly again. After being with a person that long, there's no way to not hear some information, mainly things from social media. He had stayed in the hospital for weeks and the doctors gave a final prognosis that basically said he was not getting out of the hospital. His mistress ended up leaving him since she clearly only cared for a good time. I heard from a friend that visited him that he was not looking good and didn't get many visitors. Our friend asked me to go see him again and said that he wanted to see me, but I refused. Now, this entire time since the divorce, I've been getting yelled at by his family. Family that did not even bother to come to this state to visit their dying family members. His mother called me cold and heartless, and his brother told me that I was going to hell for leaving him because he was dying. dying. Despite the divorce, they were making demands for me to go back and take care of him. They wanted me to bring him home for hospice care so he didn't need to die in the hospital around strangers. I told them no, and if they wanted home hospice, they could do it themselves. I was done with him and not seeing him or taking care of him again. Some blocked me while others continued to badmouth me, not once caring about what he did that caused all of this. I have been in therapy since I left and I'm still trying to work out my emotional crap. One minute I had a good job and husband, and the next I was working as a caregiver, and yet another I was single again for the first time in over 20 years and I had no idea what I was gonna do. Then I got a call from my lawyer about a month ago telling me that he passed away. I refused to attend the funeral, but I found out that he had the nerve to put loving husband on his gravestone. I've been blocking his family on social media for claiming that I abandoned him because he got sick. I know that it's been a while, but sometimes I still wonder if I'm a bad person for not pretending that I didn't know about the mistress. To continue to care for him for the next 4 months until he lied and just pretended that he was faithful and a good person. And I think OP meant to say until he died, not until he lied, even though he lied as well. So Reddit, was I wrong for just leaving a dying man in a hospital bed when I found out about his cheating? He died alone in the hospital and I know that it seems sad and his family hates me for it. After everything I learned, I didn't feel like I could be the person to sit there and hold his hand as he died. It would have felt like a lie and I felt I had given up enough for him. So Reddit, let me know, am I the a-hole? And yeah guys, let me know in the comments what you think about this. Do you think OP was the a-hole here or not? Let me know in the comments, and while you're at it, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and post some star emojis and like the video because that would help me tremendously. And yeah, I would say OP was definitely not the a-hole here. There's no way that she still had an obligation to care for her husband who betrayed her for over 6 years. But then again, maybe you disagree, so let me know what you think. Either way, comment number 1 from Reddit said, NTA, you did not leave a dying man, you left a lying man. He cheated on you for 6 years, spent money on his mistress while giving you scraps, and then tried to guilt you into staying because he was sick. That is not love, that is manipulation. Illness does not erase betrayal. He made his bet, literally with someone else, and lost the right to your care the moment he decided that you were disposable. His family's anger says more about their lack of involvement than it does about you. And yeah, by the way guys, that family is almost crazier than the husband. Awful, awful people. They could have stepped up if they cared so much, but you just protected yourself and that's not something to be ashamed of. And the next one says, you are the a-hole. Look, he absolutely treated you horribly, no question there. But walking out while he was dying in the hospital is cold. You could have made arrangements for his care, seen the process through with dignity, and then walked away when he passed away. The timing is what makes this feel harsh. I'm not saying you had to forgive him or forget the affair, but part of marriage, even when ending, is handling the hard moments with compassion. He died alone, and whether he deserved that or not, that's something that will always stick with you. And the next comment said, everyone sucks here. Your husband was absolutely awful for cheating on you for years, lying and using you as a nurse while sneaking off for his mistress, and he deserves the lion's share of blame, but the way you handled leaving, aka inviting the mistress to the hospital and then disappearing without ensuring he had care lined up, was petty and borderline cruel. His family of course also sucks for demanding you take him back after the divorce instead of stepping up themselves. This whole situation is just a cesspool of bad behavior all around. Update to the story. So it's been 3 years since my original post and I wanted to give you all an update because so many people reached out asking how I was doing now. First off, thank you to everyone who told me I was not the a-hole. Reading those comments helped me through some really dark moments when I was questioning everything. The first year after he died was honestly brutal. The therapy helped, but I was basically starting over. I had to rebuild my career after taking that damn part-time job to care for him. His family never stopped harassing me until I changed my phone number and moved to a different city about 6 months later. I decided to go back to school and got certified in project management. It felt good to have goals again and to focus on something that was just mine. I made new friends in my classes, people who didn't know my story or judge me for it. About 2 years ago then, I met David at a hiking group I joined. I was not looking for anything serious, just trying new hobbies hobbies and getting out of the house. He is 45, divorced, and has 2 teenage kids who live with him part-time. What struck me about David was how different he was. He is honest about everything, even silly stuff like forgetting to take out the trash. After living with someone who lied about major parts of his life for years, that transparency meant everything to me. We took things really slow. I was upfront about my past and what I'd been through, and instead of running away, he listened and supported me through the harder days when grief and anger would still hit unexpectedly. We got married last month in a small ceremony with just close friends and his kids. It was nothing fancy, but it felt real and honest in a way my first marriage never did. Even before I found out about the affair, his ex-wife actually thanked me at the wedding for making him so happy. His kids have accepted me and we are building something together as a family. I'm working full-time now in a job I actually enjoy, making more money than I ever did before. We bought a house together with a garden that I'm learning to tend. Simple things, but they are ours. Sometimes people ask if I regret not staying with my first husband until the end, but the answer is still no. I gave him 20 years and my whole heart, and he chose to throw that away long before he got sick. I deserved better then, and I have better now. David tells me that he loves me every single day, and it shows through his actions. That's what a real partnership looks like. To anyone out there in a similar situation, you're not obligated to set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. Even if they are dying, you matter too. And yeah guys, let me know what you think about this Am I the Devil story in the comments. And now let's move on to the next one, which is almost even more crazy, and it is titled, "A friend of mine broke into my house, put her stuff at random places to make it look like she's been a tenant. Cops arrive, find her stuff all over the place, and so of course they won't remove her. So I have a friend who called me last night asking for a place to stay. I politely told her no. She is 25, I'm 19, and I should mention she is a narcissistic witch. Today I was over at my cousin's place this morning, and when I came home a couple of hours ago, I found this witch inside my house. No signs of a break-in from the outside, and I ask her how she got in, and she tells me through the back window. I tell her I never gave you permission to come here and that she needs to leave immediately, and she just says, deal with it. I then call the cops and tell them that there's a person who got inside my house without my permission and that I need an officer to come and remove her. A couple of minutes later, they arrive, and here's what happens. She tells them, I know my rights, officers. I've been a legal tenant in this house for 2 months now, and you cannot just remove me. I can go around show you my clothes in the wardrobe, my toothbrush and my conditioner in the bathroom, and all of my other stuff. They take a walk with her, and all of her damn stuff is all over my house. She broke into my house, put her stuff all over so that the cops would think she's been a tenant. The next thing they tell me is that I have to serve her with an eviction notice and that they cannot legally remove her since she's considered a tenant. I did not even know what to tell them as I felt so dumbfounded and shocked that I was set up like this. I was silent for a few seconds, and so they tried to explain how the law works to me, but since I just keep looking at them in silence, not believing myself, they just proceed to leave. I'm so pissed. I'm in California, so I cannot even record her confessing to what she has done. If I can do that under an exception, I could easily do it because apparently she has no problem admitting to it when the cops are not here. I'm not, however, gonna do so if it will lead to more problems. I've also thought about calling 911 or the non-emergency line and telling the operator about the situation so that the call would be recorded and then make my friend confess about it. Can I do that? Me and the operator are aware of the call being recorded. I think it still would be unlawful though. How do I get this Karen out without having to serve her an eviction notice? Isn't that against the law what she did there? Isn't this fraud? I've thought about trying to prove that she's been living somewhere else before, but I don't know what to do. This is really effed up. I'm sorry about my language, but I'm really feeling so angry and I'm trying to be as calm as much as I can while she's in my damn house using my stuff and I cannot do anything about it. Thanks. And yeah guys, if you would be in this situation, what would you suggest OP to do? Let me know in the comments. Furthermore, while you're at it, please let me know where you are watching from today. I would love to know. Comment number 1 said, I'm gonna go in a completely different direction here and suggest you get a protection order. This woman is dangerous and completely out of touch with reality. If I were you, I would be very scared. Go down to the court and fill out an order for temporary protection. The form will ask you if you two live in the same home and just say no there. Put in her last known address and you should get her order to stay away from you, and she will not be able able to enter the apartment, as it will be breaking the order obviously. If you need to call the police, you can call and tell them that you have an order of protection against this person and they will make her leave. You do not want a residence exclusion order, which requires actual violence, you want a stay away order. Update to the story, I texted one of her friends on Instagram who I know is close to her and explained what happened. She gave me her boyfriend's name on Facebook and told me to talk to him to see if he could come over and persuade her to leave. I've reached him and we got on the phone a few minutes ago. He said can come over after work and see what he can do. Is there anything I should do before he comes here? Do I start recording video? Do I call the cops instead? Do I bring in a third witness? I'm really afraid if this ever turns into a domestic violence of some sort, if any of them decides to do anything stupid. Keep in mind I'm 19 and both of them are well over my age by a lot. Comment, it's time to call in a friend, a close one. I would propose your mom actually. Middle-aged women often have magical violence desalting effect on unknown quantities. The point is, someone calm, very calm. You don't need another voice here, you need a witness. If all goes well, I would suggest you lock the door behind her and this time lock your window. The problem with that of course is the cops have already decided she lives there, so if she calls them claiming you locked her out, you are SOL. In these circumstances it might be worth the risk. Can you begin accumulating evidence she didn't live there as of yesterday? Just call friends and family who can verify you lived alone or who can say where she lived. Instagrams of her taking pics of her place, Facebook posts where she indicates where she lives or implied is not with you, like can I come over from a few days ago would be great. Once you're done with her, don't ever talk to her again. That's it. This is a new level of crazy and it's gonna burn everything it touches. Update number 2. First of all, I want to explain what happened. Apologies and thank all of you. Long story short, as soon as her boyfriend came in, she started crying hysterically. I told them that I'm video recording them through my phone, but they seemed uninterested in what I said. She started blaming him for all sorts of stuff and he kept apologizing a lot, and after what seemed like an eternity, she packed her stuff and they were both gone. Now, I've written down on a piece of paper all your different advice. I will file a restraining order against her. I will also go file a police report and talk to the sheriff explaining everything that happened. I've documented all I could. I have screenshots of her IG account with the pictures tagged A to Z and plus the video of her and her boyfriend arguing in my house and then packing and leaving together. My mom's main concern right now is getting the protective order ASAP and installing an alarm system in my house. She said she'll be staying with me until we can get a company to install an alarm system on a Monday. Thank you guys for suggesting to call my mom. It made me feel safer while she was here. Apology. I know how annoying it was for you guys to keep giving me advice that I should file the restraining order and go to the police, only to find me not to do any of them, but invite a stranger to my house. My mom also pointed out how badly this could have gone with her boyfriend coming here. Anyway, I'm so lucky it didn't go worse. I'm just really relieved this whole thing is off my chest now. I'm truly thankful for each one of you. Before we end the video, let's read one last petty revenge story to get some variety. This one is titled, My 20 male girlfriend's 21 female best friend called me broke and then asked my girlfriend to pay for her trip. So I'm in my second year of college and thought I had my life pretty much figured out. I had a girlfriend that I loved, a part-time campus job that kept me afloat, and a small but close group of friends. Life was not perfect, but it was good, and then her best friend came into our lives. I'm not the type to dislike people without a reason, so when my girlfriend introduced me to her, I genuinely tried to be friendly, but from day one she had this energy that I don't like. She made these small comments about my clothes, my old phone, and once even joked in front of everyone that my car looked like it was built before Wi-Fi existed. I laughed it off, but it stung. It got worse when money came into the equation. One night we were all out for coffee and I paid for everyone. It was not a big deal to me, I like doing small gestures like that, but after that her friends seemed to expect it. We would go out, she would forget her wallet or nudge my girlfriend with a smile, like it was some inside joke that I would cover her. The real crack in the wall came when my girlfriend told me that her friend had been saying I was cheap because I didn't want to split the cost of a random weekend trip they planned without me. I could not instantly drop $300 for a trip. I was broke. It bothered me because I'd been working hard to be smart with money. My parents didn't have a safety net for me, so every dollar I spent mattered. I was not just blowing cash around to look good, I was trying to build a stable life. Here's the twist though, that trip they took, my girlfriend ended up paying for her friend the whole time because she didn't have enough saved. The same friend who called me broke. Ironically, a month before, she had been bragging about buying a $200 Zara haul at the mall. And then some expensive makeup at Sephora. Here's the petty part though, I decided from that day forward I would never cover anything for her again. No coffee, no snacks, nothing. I got Fizz to track every cent I spent, so there would be no "oh, I'll pay you back" nonsense. If she forgot her wallet, I would politely say, "no worries, you can grab it next time," and order my stuff alone. She hates it, she's not used to me setting boundaries, and now she doesn't get a cent out of me. My girlfriends noticed it too. She said it's weird seeing her friend actually pay for her own things. Sometimes you don't need to fight someone to protect yourself, you just need to stop giving them access to the parts of you they can take advantage of. And yeah guys, amen to that, and I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you again tomorrow. Also, please don't forget to subscribe.